So, of course, this is Bible study with K and B. So, K and B are my initials, of course, and it stands for Keep Me Blessed. This is a community for people to gather, grow in their faith, and serve each other. My goal is to get people closer to God and their true purpose in life. I believe that everyone is special, everybody has a purpose, and God gave everyone gifts to do His will on earth. So these calls are every Monday and Friday at 7 a.m., the same exact Google link. So you'll see a lot of butterflies, and they pretty much symbolize transformation, rebirth, and personal growth due to its metamorphosis from a caterpillar. Its life cycle reflects the process of change, growth, and new beginnings, hinting at the thought of leaving behind the old and embracing the future. A butterfly also represents freedom, lightness, joy, and appreciation of beauty and grace. All right, so every morning we will say the K and B affirmations, so you guys can screenshot it. You can write them down. You can say it to yourself. Um, so yes, I move with softness, intention, and love. I am guided by God's divine wisdom, not the noise of the world. My steps are ordered, my mind is clear, and my spirit is at peace. I am a child of God, chosen and deeply loved. I am an heir to His promises, and all that is meant for me finds me with ease. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, crafted with purpose and intention. I walk in unwavering faith even when I cannot see the full path. I trust that everything is working for my good. God fights on my behalf, and I am always protected. I am a survivor. I beat the odds. Every challenge I face strengthens and elevates me. I rise with resilience, courage, and confidence. I live a life of abundance, prosperity, and overflow. My resources are limitless because I serve a God who created everything. I lack nothing. Everything I need is already aligned for me. I walk boldly in my purpose, anchored in faith and guided by truth. My life reflects God's goodness, and I am grateful for all that is and all that is coming. So these last two sessions I've been reading them, but I do want like one different person each morning to read one, just so that we're all saying it and we all. Denise was the first one to read it. She said it felt good. So next session, Friday, somebody else is going to get to read them. Yay! All right, so like I told you guys, we are continuing our Managing God's Money series. The first few sessions, we just talked about stewardship and the parables. So today we are going to talk about materialism. All right, a little bit. Like I said, I don't have that many discussion questions, so y'all interact with me today. We see this a lot in society today. Everybody's very much so materialistic, very much so focusing on things that really don't matter, especially, younger people. But I'm not gonna lie, I'll be seeing it's really just, I want to say, bad habits being passed down. So let's start. So we see in Psalms 52:7, it says, "Look what happens to mighty warriors who do not trust in God. They trust their wealth instead and grow more and more bold in their wickedness." So materialism fosters immorality. After all, those who indulge their material appetites are not likely to curb their sexual appetites. And we kind of talked about this before too, how when you do dibble and dabble in sin, or you do things that you know you're not supposed to do, you begin to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get more and more comfortable with it. You get less and less convicted, and you start to, your appetite for it grows pretty much. We know that with sex, like when you start it, it becomes like an addiction pretty much. So anything that's usually not good for you that God is telling you to stay away from is for a reason. So any type of sin could be an addiction, not just materialistic things or selfish motives when it comes to that, but also when it comes to like sex, drugs, alcohol, things like that. Anyway, King David spoiled King David, spoiled by getting everything he wanted, did not deny himself one more possession, which was another man's wife. Like any other temptation, the bait of wealth hides the hook of addiction and slavery. The more Solomon accumulated, the more empty and meaningless his life became. Those who love money will never have enough. How meaningless to think that wealth brings true happiness. The more you have, the more people come help you spend it. So what good is wealth except perhaps to watch it slip through your fingers? Now mind you, this was the richest man alive who is saying this. And then we also see in Luke 12:18 through 21, it says, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth but not have a rich relationship with God. In contrast to materialism's emptiness, there is joyful liberty in Christ. Those who hold tightly to the true God will loosen their grip on money and thereby loosen money's grip on them. Paul wrote, our hearts ache, but we always have joy. We are poor, but we give spiritual riches to others. We own nothing, and yet we have everything. So I do want to say something about that first sentence too. It says, those who hold tightly to the true God will loosen their grip on money and thereby loosen money's grip on them. Going back to that scripture or that verse that states, what is it pretty much saying? Like, seek God first and everything else will be added unto you. So it's like if you're seeking money first before seeking God, things are not going to work out. Things are not going to turn out the way that you want. You're really not going to be happy because money is physical. It's a thing. It's not really much so like something that's fulfilling. So yes, it's of course good to have wealth and be able to take care of yourself and your family and others, but it doesn't bring fulfillment pretty much. But when you seek God, that's not something that's tangible. You get what I'm saying? You can find purpose and peace and all those things when seeking God. So when you do go that route, He'll be able to give you the things that you desire. So, you won't feel empty pretty much. So rich people will usually be materialistic, but so will poor people. That's important to know as well. But because they have less, usually they will exert less power over them. So because they have less, money will exert less power over them. Materialistic people will be unjust. The wealthier the man, the greater the opportunity for injustice. Of course, the wealthy man is no more inherently sinful than the poor. He simply has more means and opportunity. And I wanted to highlight that as well because I think we talked about this in another session. Some people who have less than will kind of look down on people that are wealthy and kind of try to bash them in a way or make them feel bad about their riches. But really, it's not even about, like I was saying, the physical or the material thing of wealth. It's so much more about the heart posture. So you can be poor and you're thinking that, oh, well, I'm more spiritually, connected to God because I don't like focus in on, my riches or what I have or anything materialistic. I'm really focusing on God, but your heart posture or your attitude towards money doesn't say that or doesn't reflect that, if that makes sense. And then also we must realize that when scripture speaks of the rich, quote unquote, he's not talking about them or like the wealthy, but he's talking about us. He's talking about everybody. So when you read that, you should apply it to yourself. If we are rich, which we aren't necessarily living in sin, but we are certainly under a great temptation to sin. And most rich people succumb to that temptation. So I hope that makes sense as well. So when it says, I don't think I have a scripture with it in there, but pretty much apply that to yourself. That's what I do in any situation or any story that I'm reading in the Bible. I always put myself in the character's shoes because we all struggle with some things, if not that exact thing, in some degree. All right, so I know that was a lot of reading. I hope y'all are still with me. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, any thoughts that this first slide um, sparked in their mind? Anything that they want to share? All right. So materialism blinds us to the curse of wealth. As the Israelites traveled into the desert after their miraculous exodus from Egypt, God provided manna, but the people weren't satisfied, so they demanded meat. God sent them meat in abundance, so much that it became a curse rather than the blessing. One of life's greatest ironies is the change that occurs when a poor and humble person who walks with God is rewarded with prosperity. Often the person's attention gradually turns away from the Lord. Unless corrected, they will ultimately be transformed into a proud, rich person who comes under God's judgment. Ezekiel said to the king of Tyre, I think it's Tyre, with your wisdom and understanding, you have amassed great wealth, gold and silver for your treasuries. Yes, your wisdom has made you very rich, and your riches have made you very proud. Financial struggle may be God's character building gifts to us. That's very good. In the midst of prosperity, the challenge for believers is to handle wealth so that it acts as a blessing, not as a curse. And I think this is important. This is what I was kind of trying to say before as well. Good morning, Marnie. Like, don't let your finances or anything material or anything, whether that's sex, finances, alcohol, whatever, don't let that be your God, your ruler. Like, when you seek God, everything that you're looking for when it comes to fulfillment will be added onto you. But if you seek the thing first and make it an idol, it will act as a curse rather than a blessing, and you'll definitely feel it. By the same token, the prophet Jeremiah pointed out materialism's detrimental effect on a nation. He says, has any nation ever traded its God for new ones, even though they are not gods at all? Yet my people have exchanged their glorious God for worthless idols. The heavens are shocked at such a thing and shrink back in horror and dismay, says the Lord. For my people have done two evil things. They have abandoned me, the fountain of living water, and they have dug for themselves cracked cisterns that can hold no water at all. That is Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 11 through 13. A life centered on money and possessions is not only misguided, it is utterly self-destructive. And then again, we see in Luke 16:13, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So just to think to yourself, like, so who is my God? Do I prioritize money over God? Or do I genuinely seek God and want to, continuously grow our relationship? All right, any questions, comments, concerns? Y'all have to speak this morning, but it's probably my fault because I know I'll be having discussion questions on here, but not today. It just wasn't in the layout today. So let's talk about morals as well, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on this for real. So we talked a little bit about, like, of course, materialism and seeking, money or going after money, but also with that, the reason why I added the morals slide was because when I talk about materialism in today's life, we see a lot of people, very flashy. Like, we see people in our community or just generation in general, like, walking around, they got designer head to toe, and they're like splurging on these brands, but their finances are not together, their families unstable, they aren't even stable. they all drip down designer, then they ask you for some money for something to eat. Like, priorities mixed up. It's just like it just doesn't really make sense. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, like, if you like something, you shouldn't, spend your money on it, of course. But I just feel like prior it's not you're not prioritizing your money correctly, one. And two, also, um I feel like it is a thing of just wanting to be seen, or flashy, or insecurity, or just to appease the crowd or appease others, because that's what other people are doing, so you feel like you have to do it. But also, when it comes to the brands as well, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. It says a Christian should avoid investing in any enterprise that makes its profit from immoral practices. So it says, don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteousness be a partner with wickedness? How can light live with darkness? Take no part in the worthless deeds of evil and darkness. Instead, expose them. It will not be easy, but if we are God's money managers, we should take responsibility to investigate and choose carefully where we put God's money. I don't know why I have those dashes in there, but so I did want to talk about this because, like, even with the, not just spiritually, but like in politics, we have like a thing about, oh, we're boycotting certain brands because this, that, and the third. And, it'll be a time where something comes out about a specific brand, and then people will be outraged for a little bit, but then go back to, shopping with them or supporting them just because they see other people doing it, or because they want to look or feel a certain way, etc., etc. For me, one thing that just really stood out to me was because, like, I've never been like a big luxury type of person. That just, it just was never that. Like, I'm still in the process of getting my finances together, so I choose to try to spend my money wisely, or invest and grow, or learn a skill so that I can grow my money and multiply it, so that way when I get to where I want to be, I'm able to not go crazy, but of course do things that I like, which still isn't really materialistic. I'm more of a, like, experience type of person, so I will want to spend more money on, like, going out of town, vacation, food. Y'all know I love to eat out, or stuff like that. Like, if I find value in it, I don't find a problem with spending my money on it. Pretty much, if I don't care how much money I ever make, if I feel like that's just a ridiculous price for that thing or for that, I'm not gonna spend it. It's just whatever I see value in, that's what I spend my money on. So I've never been like a really materialistic type of person. But I am really into fashion. So I do want to start back my clothing brand and all the things. But when I used to do like my research on brands, or like look into other brands when I was building up my businesses, I really did like Balenciaga, because I just like their style. Like, they're really streetwear. It could be chill. It could be, you know, really fashionable. Like, it was my vibe, and I really liked it, even though I never had any Balenciaga, because I told y'all I spent my money, try to spend it wisely. But I remember that whole thing came out about the kids. Do y'all remember that? Like, put something in the chat. You probably talking about, so this is good. I do it. See, this is why you should. We've been missing you, girl. But let me know if y'all familiar with what I'm talking about. The Balenciaga scandal that came out with about the kids, and it was, pretty much how we. I don't know if I can say it on here because I ain't recording, but y'all know what I'm trying to get at. They being weird with kids, and that had came out, and everybody was outraged for a little while. And I remember Kim Kardashian. She worked with Balenciaga heavy, and everybody was kind of waiting on her to say something or speak out, but she didn't say nothing. And it was crazy because everybody's like, girl, you got a lot of kids, so you working with this brand, but you have kids yourself. Even if you don't have kids, like, clearly they're doing immoral practices, or they're promoting things that are weird or not of God, and that's something that, but what we talking about idols, she didn't want to let that bag go because they was paying her a good penny, I'm sure. So when she finally did release a statement, it was kind of like, girl, you could have kept that. But after that whole outrage, like probably lasted like what 3 days, and I'm still people back rocking it. So it was just like, what do you pretty much stand for? You get what I'm saying? Like, do you have these type of words? And I know like nowadays it is hard with the different brands and the businesses, but it's like that was just way too far. Like stuff like that, like there's no hiding it. That was just too, yeah. Marty, go ahead.
So it's good to see it in scripture because I now I know why I felt so strong about stuff. But I'm like that in general. Like I don't know if everybody remembers the blackface that Gucci did with the sweater. It was a sweater that you can pull over your face, and it was a black sweater, red sweater, and it had like red lips. And the culture, black culture, was outraged. Oh my God, they doing blackface. I got so much Gucci stuff. What am I gonna do? I'm like, sell it. I never been like once you do something, I'm not it's not like, oh my God, I really love this. Like I click off immediately. Dove, when they did that commercial, they've done several racist commercials. When the lady went in to take a shower, she was black, and then when she came out, she was white. They did a statement apologizing on that. No, because my major was marketing. You have a team,
Right.
and you all sit around and think about what's a good idea. You vote on it and you put it out there. And my thing was this: y'all never make slanted eye mistakes like ponytails too tight or makeup that's slant. You never make those type of things. You never make taco mistakes. You never make Italian mistakes. But you make black people mistakes all the time. And one thing that I hate about us is we are so like caught up in um, like feeling like we have to have these labels. Me personally, I'm more of a build your own luxury label. I think those of us that have brands, we get that. But once you as a brand do something racist and it's a major billion-dollar corporation, million-dollar corporation, I'm done. So a lot of these high-end places, Montclair, that have done racist things or have made statements like, I do not want this culture wearing it, just don't wear it. Like, if they don't want you wearing it, if they're bold enough to make certain statements, they meant what they said. Don't just be so silly where you just and then you so consumed of it, you even wear the knockoff version of it. Like just don't wear it. Don't wear it. Like support another black brand or create your own, but don't wear someone that practice witchcraft. A lot of these brands, they're worshipers. They do all you gotta do is it's public information. All you gotta do is just pull it up, and they're not hiding anything because they know when we got them checks. What did they do? Went to Gucci and Oakbrook. It was a line spending all their money.
It's
Like
always a
it's a
line.
sickness. So for me, I don't have brand issues. Like, yes, I have had materialistic things growing up, but once I find out what you really feel, even if you're not you talking to me, even if you're not like Marnie, this is what I feel about you. You talking about me, so I jump off. And I'm not wearing you real or fake. I just I just don't mess with you like that. And I don't let my kids do it either. Because I explained it to them. Like, these people
Your
don't
kids
care
don't be
about
doing it.
us. No, no, they can't bring that in here. Absolutely not. Nope. Because I explained it to them. Like, these people don't like you. You cannot depend on them for anything. They don't they don't want us progressing. They don't like your kind. So why would you give them your money? It doesn't make any sense. Create your own brand. So that's what they doing. Creating their own brand. Because we don't have it. We're giving it to them and their kids and grandkids, kids, and all of they straight based off of us. And they don't even mess with us like that. Go figure. So create your own brand. Just don't give them none of your money. They got enough of it. Because they not gonna give you none of theirs. And that's just how we roll over here. It's no.
Yeah, that's why. And also, we are the number one consumers. Like, we have the money to spend, so we might as well spend it with our people. Like, what was that? Oh my God, I should know this. I don't even want to say it. that I don't know it. But we had like our own community, and we was like circling money in it, and they burned it down. What was that called again?
Tulsa.
Huh?
Tulsa.
Black Wall Street.
Yeah, Black Wall Street. And it was like a whole thing. So if they did it back then before, we could do it now. But we all, and that's nothing, we in competition with each other. We want to hate each other, we want to fight each other, we want to be against each other. Every time somebody come out with a brand, um we hesitant to support. We got to be convinced to support our people brands, but when they come out with stuff, we jumping on the bandwagon. We putting Lululemon in our songs, making it go viral, bringing more traction to them rather than putting our brands in the song. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree. We do need to just be able to come together and just support one another and uplift each other rather than, like you said, keep putting more money into their pockets and making them richer. But I don't know. I guess I'm not even gonna say it do be hard. We just not with the clothing because I don't really care about that. But it's like your everyday day to day brands. Like you were saying stuff, Martin, that I didn't even know. I didn't even hear about. And it's just like you gotta.
Hey, the whole Procter and Gamble. Look up Dove. It's
No,
been
I
years.
seen the Dove one. I didn't see the Gucci one. But I'm just
Oh my
saying,
God! Pull it. It's blackface sweater. The whole Procter and Gamble, everything that Procter and Gamble has. You know who Procter and Gamble is, and what they practices are. Kill it. Kill it. It's something else that you can use. I haven't used a Procter and Gamble product in fufu of years, and I'll be making my stuff. I'm not doing it. You don't like black people. You are into the cannibalism thing. You're into satanic practices. No, I don't care.
yeah.
We can survive. We can find other things.
Yeah.
We can. Like something else. They ain't putting the right ingredients in there anyway.
Exactly.
So that'll really get you up off of it.
Exactly.
Anything that's Procter and Gamble, get up off of it. Period.
Wait, what's Procter and Gamble?
Procter and Gamble is a distribution company. They have like your products, your toothpaste, your stuff like that, like things that we use daily. Like they make everything, but so what? They don't make everything.
But the
We
crazy
can make our
thing,
own stuff.
like what you just saying, that it just reminds me of we can make our own stuff because y'all know I've been having to do that. Like with my doctor, he said no chemicals, no plastics, no deodorant, no even the toothpaste. Me and my mom, we haven't really been like we ain't use Colgate Crest. We ain't used that stuff in years. But she just bought this new one. It's charcoal, coconut oil, and cement and stuff like that. First of all, my teeth ain't never been whiter, and I'm not even exaggerating. So it's like even the products and stuff. One, their practices are immoral. They're not good people. They're not good companies. But on top of that, the stuff that's in it isn't good for you anyway. So you're better off just making it anyway, which goes back to the point of we have to go back to the beginning. We have to go back to the drawing board because God didn't even intend us to be filling ourselves with all these chemicals, all these clothing brands. And he told me I can't even wear polyester, nylon, all of that bull crap, spandex. He wants me to use cotton, wool, hemp. What's the other one? It's another one. But the craziest thing is that even these brands, what you say, linen, yeah. Even these the high-end brand, because I was like, oh my gosh, like cotton, that's gonna be expensive. I did a whole deep dive research. Even the high-end quote-unquote luxury brands, y'all are wearing polyester. Polyester is plastic that's full of chemicals. Your skin is your biggest organ, so you're taking in all these chemicals that you're not even supposed to be taking in anyway. But if we had our own stuff, if we were creative and had our own stuff how God wants us to be, it would not even be a thing. So that's just crazy. So it's like, dang, I feel like sometimes like I'm getting punished because I have to go through all this, make this stuff my own. I don't feel like you do all this research, but whole time God don't want us indulging in this stuff anyway. So it's like, yeah, they doing wrong, but I didn't tell you to use that anyway. I didn't tell you to spend your money on that anyway. So go ahead, Marnie.
But the ingredients thing, they tell you what's in it. It'll say it's a thing called spec on it. But it's not hard. Like, you just stay away from certain brands. Um, and just deal with what you know. You know what I mean? Like, they'll it'll say it in their ingredient thing, or they'll have it online, like specs. And if you pull it up, what the spec is, it'll show you, like, it can be hazardous and things that they're being open with it. I mean, we're not paying attention to it because we like it, or we it's cheap, or whatever your reason is for buying it. They're putting it out there, though. They're putting out the ingredients. This app I use is Yoko and Yuka, and you can scan food, beauty products, all of that stuff. So they're telling you what's in it. You just We just be hung up on what we want to do. Yeah. And it's like, it's okay, but they also said, like, you're not supposed to wear certain materials because of what it contains. So it's not a that we don't know, it's an obedience thing. Like, it's about what we like. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, what was you doing before this store came out? Like, what was you doing before this brand came out? Like, you were living, right? You were still looking nice. You just gotta.
Yeah, it's other ways that we can do stuff.
Absolutely.
And don't even get me started on the makeup and the cosmetic stuff, because, like, when I was purging my house after I came back from St. Louis, and I was just looking at everything, like the shampoo bottles, everything, and my hand, like, a part of my condition, like, my hands are very sensitive. Like, every little touch hurts. Like, everything burns. Like, I have to wear gloves. And when I used to wash my hair, like, I would literally have to use gloves in the shower because I just could, like, it was just too much. But my doctor ended up giving me some hair products from his brand, and I don't even have to wear gloves in the shower. So it's like, that's so crazy that the stuff in your products is making my hands burn and tingle, but when I'm using all natural stuff, it doesn't. So that just shows you right there. Go ahead, Mom.
To tie back all into another thing we need to realize is everything is spiritual. So these things that you're putting, or I should say we, because of course everybody is trying, that these things that we put in our body and on our body, they are lower frequency. They're lower vibration stuff too. Like that polyester, all of that stuff lowers your frequency. Like, it's all spiritual. It all goes back to God and the things that He actually put on this earth for us, and how we're supposed to treat our body and how we're supposed to treat our temple. And you would be surprised that a lot of these people don't even wear their own brand. It's not that they don't know. Like you said, they put it out there. It's on the label. So they know the stuff is toxic, and they sell it to you, and they put it up as this big high luxury item, this must-have item. But not only do they not let their kids wear it or take part in it, it's just banned in their family. You know what I mean? They don't wear it themselves, but they'll sell it to you. That's just like the clip that went viral of the Campbell's guy. He was like, I would never allow my kids to eat Campbell's products, and he's the owner. So it's like, they know, of course they know what they're doing. And legally, some countries make them either put it on there or take it out. So they're very well aware of what's going on. But my point was, it goes back to being spiritual. They want you sick. They want your frequency low. That also drives a separation between you and God. And that's how they want it.
Exactly. Scott said the McDonald's CEO struggling to eat the burger. No, for real. That's crazy. And then even the dude, I think, was it Pepsi or Coca-Cola? He was like, I would never let my kids do that. And I think it was one dude, who was it? Was it Apple? It was something. They was like, my kids don't use no iPads or something. It was crazy. That is so crazy. And a lot of things that the United States use for, like, products or food are banned in other countries. So that tell you a lot right there as well. Yeah, it's crazy where we live in. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, I think this is the last slide. I got a few more minutes. So, we're going to talk about self control. This is one of the highest Christian virtues. When you lack self control, you have nothing to give. And when you're done, you have nothing to give when you're done spending, precisely because you're never done spending. Then, when you run out of money, you think it's because you didn't have enough. Sometimes we have to wait longer than we want, but that's what builds our character and self control. Children and adults need help to develop sales resistance. You don't got to buy everything you see. Every time we say no to our children about candy or a new toy, we can teach them something important. Children raised this way will usually follow the same pattern of decision making when they're on their own. Obviously, parents should sometimes say yes to our children's requests. In the context of good stewardship, giving to our children can teach the lesson of generosity. Tight fisted stinginess is just as bad as overindulgence. Our goal isn't to be penny pinchers obsessed with money, but joyful, responsible, and generous stewards of God's abundance. Children can learn to shop intelligently, not buying the first thing they see. Oh, good morning, Sham. You can teach children how to properly spend money by showing them how you spend it. If you aren't spending it wisely, this could motivate you to change. Nothing will interfere more with our children's relationship with God or even prevent them from having a relationship than a life centered on things. So yes, even well, I know some of us don't have kids, some of us do have kids, but even just like being that model and practicing what you preach, or just trying better habits, that way that your kids can see it and then they'll be able to move the same way or better. That's very important. So I got a question for each of us to answer. It's only one question. Ain't that crazy? I only have one question on this whole slide. Sorry about that, but we still did have a good discussion though. So what are your spending habits like? Do you overspend? Has this habit been passed down? How can you make a change in your household? All right, let me see some hands. I want everybody to briefly kind of touch on their spending habits. I will start. I honestly don't know. Like I said, I'm not really a materialistic person. Like honestly, I just like what I like. If what I like costs $1,000 or $1, if I like it, I just like it pretty much. But I do try to be very wise, or what was the word I used before? I try to prioritize the way that I spend my money. So I don't really spend nothing like $1,000 on nothing like crazy. You know what I mean? Like I do focus on accumulating wealth and pretty much stacking my money rather than spending. But I do find myself spending on convenience. Like I do have, like, it's literally Whole Foods is like right down the street, but I would just rather order Amazon groceries, pay for delivery. I don't know, y'all. I just, convenience be worth it sometimes. Like I said, like if I find value in it, I definitely do spend my money on it. But I like, I don't know. Sometimes I am like a kid in the store. Like I be scrolling on Pinterest or whatever, and if I see, it's always something that I want. It's always something else that I want, something that looks shiny. So I I feel like I can have better self control, but then again, like I don't really be getting it because I promise you it always be something that I actually need. So I be like, dang, I can't even get the thing that I want because I gotta get what I actually need. So I know how to, I know how to make a wise decision, but yeah, I still do be getting my eyes be lighting up sometimes. So I don't know, but in my household, I would definitely like just try to instill better habits and self control. I feel like self control is a big thing. Um, yeah. Who's next? What are your spending habits like? And have they been passed down? How can you make a difference? Don't be shy, guys. We only got 8 more minutes. Let me get like 2 more people. Go ahead, Mom.
Well, I'll say my spending habits are probably similar to yours because I raised you. Um, I've never been a real big materialistic person. Been into like brands like that. I'm the same way. Like I kind of like what I like. I don't really focus on what name is on it or where it came from. I just more so focus on if it looks good on me. Lately, I've been focusing on is it healthy for me, even when it comes to clothing down to my shoes down to my feet. But everybody do have their thing, so I would say that yeah, my spending is more focused on um, experiences instead of material things, and comfort and convenience is very similar. Like I'll spend, like I tend to be kind of like a homebody, so I'll spend on making my surroundings or my place comfortable, even if some of that spending is unnecessary at times. I like to be comfortable. I like to create like a sanctuary type space. So that's probably where my extra spending would come in. Um, I would say uh, bad habits that I try not to pass down is not necessarily unnecessary spending, but um, survival mode type things. Like I think me and you discussed this, whereas it'll be something that you need that you go without because you holding that money so tight, or it'll be something that you need to invest in yourself, whether that be self care or actually investing for the future. Not saving. We don't save because we know saving don't create any money. We invest. But some people won't even invest because they're trying to, hold on to that money, like you said, kind of penny pinch.
Yeah.
I try to make sure that I'm not passing down those habits. And that's, yeah, something that I try to promote to you guys. Just good stewardship overall.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, Sky.
Okay, so I feel like my spending habits are well, not constantly changing, but like they are becoming more solidified as I've entered my 20s and have to like become more responsible for my own money and how I get my things. Um, One thing that I've really just started to like follow is just like if it makes me feel good, then I'm gonna spend the money on it.
Yeah.
Like that goes to like if it's food or like the skincare, the hair, my nails. Okay, sorry, that's red. Like if it's gonna make me feel good, then I'm gonna spend the money on it, and especially if it's quality. I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's okay. Good morning, Raya.
Sorry, she a morning person. Like I said, yeah. So I like to spend money on that. And I try to become more disciplined, especially girl. I've been working at Oats, so sometimes it be tempting. But I try to become more disciplined and just not getting things when I see the sale because it's always gonna be another sale. So
Yeah.
you don't always have to buy it right then and there. Um, and kind of like your mom said, just like trying to put money into experiences more so than just like fast fashion or 1 minute thing, like something that I know it's not really gonna last long or something that is only gonna bring temporary fulfillment. Like I try to do things to spend money and put money towards things that I know is gonna really be long lasting.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you guys for sharing. Those are really good answers.